Hello, this is an update to my DIY Arduino based MIDI controller project that I've built into this unit here to control my atomic amps amplifier unit. So I've added new functionality to these two switches up the top here, 1 and 4, and what they do is they scroll up and down to edit the set list. So these two are up and down through the set list. What these do is they can change the value of each line in the set list. The way that works, you need to look at the sketch file. Right. In the sketch file, we have, here's the physical array of switches up the top. If you look there, you can see 1 and 4 are empty at the moment. What it's all based on is there's a list in the sketch file, so it gets uploaded to the Arduino, of all the songs. So it goes from 1 to 128. There's a few empty and unused, including some of the presets I use for and the channel board channels on the controller. Look at the previous video, find out what that's all about. But it goes from 1 to 128 only because there's 128 presets in the amplifier. Could be any number. The way the program generally works is it looks to know what preset it wants by incrementing, pushing the up or down arrow, incrementing a count, which is in this case called set list count. It looks up this A-fire array and looks at the corresponding value and says, right, when we're on, when it's counted to number 3, it wants number 37. Number 37 is Proud Mary. So that's how it works. So in the program itself, it's looking at it. What I've added to this is firstly a couple of bits of code. Look at this EEprom. What this is EEprom is a permanent memory. So whatever you set it at, it retains its value after the Arduino unit is powered down, when there's no power supply. Unlike setting arrays or changing values like the preset number in the list by pressing the up and down number, they're gone every time the thing powers up or resets. But this is more resilient. It remains after powering down, permanent memory. So what it's based on is the idea of interacting the set list value in the A-fire array and the EEprom memory. So the way that works is, if I can just get through all the code to the void loop. Okay, here's the loop, and you can see that bit of code there. There's a count for integer 1 equals 0, and integer is up to 100, and that 1 plus plus means every time it loops, add 1 to the count of I. So amplifier I, the variable, is equal to whatever's in EEprom I, the variable. So every time this loops around, it's going to reset the current set list number of amplifier to equal what's in EEprom memory. So in order to update the set list, we have to keep updating what's in EEprom memory. The next bit of code, if I go down to switch 1 here. Okay. Normal switching code, if the button state of 1 goes to earth, goes low, start a new shift, which is called shift equals shift plus 1. Then set its LED, set the cursor, display what, instead of using the set list number, display based on the shift, the corresponding number from the big list of songs up above, display that, and in particular, and here, it's making the A-fire set list equal shift, so the value in the A-fire array. So set list is the current selection, so it's going to make the corresponding value in the array or address in the array, which is currently equal to set list, which is going to be, say, 11, to whatever shift is, which might be up to count 3. It also, and that's probably all redundant, because the important bit is EEprom write. So write to set list, being the current address in the A-fire array that you're looking at in terms of the normal up and down buttons, equal to the value of shift, which is in the in this editing up and down, and the rest of it's just about setting the LED off, turning the LED off, and printing a message. Now, if that wasn't confusing, well, that was confusing. I'll explain what the difference is between shift and preset now, looking at the actual unit. As we scroll up and down, here we go, the songs, 1, 2, 3, Born to Be Wild. I'll go up to number 6. Now, if I look at the amplifier, you can see that although the set list was going up by increments in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's referring to a whole lot of different presets. Hurt So Good is number 22, whereas number 1 on this list. And that's what the sketch file is doing. It's making, every time I change a set list number, it knows what its corresponding Arduino Midi program control setting is. So that's the normal operation, up through the set list. And what I used to do is just change the sketch file to change the set list. What I can do now, if we look at number 3 is Live It Up, for example, and we go to these other 2 buttons, if I start pressing up here, I can change number 3 to Call Me. Okay, now number 3 at the moment, although it says Call Me here, it's preset 27. If I just go up, go back down again, Call Me, Call Me. Okay, and this is just the equivalent down button. We'll change it to Boys in Town. Okay, if I just press up and down to sort of get it all back in sync, Boys in Town. What it's doing is saying, this is changing, every time I push this up, it's changing the value of set list in the file to an increment of 1. And if I press the down button, it's reducing it by 1. And that's looking up the A-fire array and looking up the corresponding value. For example, Great Balls of Fire is number 16 in the A-fire array. And so it understands number 7 equates to number 16. What I'm doing here is I'm changing the value of shift and looking up the same array. So I'm saying, and pushing that value into the display up here. So both buttons are scrolling up and down through the same list. This one's scrolling up and down to set the current preset I'm going to use, which is going to control the amplifier unit and whatever's on the display. This one is setting the actual array in the Arduino sketch file. And the critical bit of functionality is the ability to have that resilient EEprom memory. So this is going to change what's in EEprom memory, which makes a permanent change to the set list order. It's the equivalent of me going into the sketch file and changing, if I can get there in reasonable time. So what I would do previously is I'd look up this list and go to the A-fire array here, and I would change the values according to what the set list. This has almost become redundant, or has become redundant. I could still change it this way, but every time I fire this up and it goes through the loop for the first time, it's going to reset it to whatever the last list was. So it's easy enough to set back again, but I don't add new songs very often. If I do, I can upload that. But I'm always changing the set list and the order of set lists. And there are always those geniuses when you get to a gig who suddenly decide that they've got to change the order of the set list for creative reasons that are beyond my understanding. So at least if I'm away from the computer, I can edit and change the set list on the fly. EEprom memory. Thank you.